Of the 6 law firms that we contacted, 2 were afraid of taking on RBC given the viciousness they had heaped on us. 1 honestly admitted that they feared retaliation. For another 2, RBC was an important client, so they wouldn't do anything to jeopardize their money tree. We finally found 2 who were not afraid of RBC and not in their back pocket. The shocking thing to us was that almost 70% of the firms we approached would not take on RBC. The legal consensus was that RBC's treatment of us was reprehensible and that we probably had legal grounds for recovering, at the very least, our thousands in legal fees and the many more thousands in the extra interest we would now have to pay since our mortgage had been reset just as we had reached the point where our principal was more than the interest. However, no lender is legally obligated to renew a mortgage when it comes due. That is why anyone with a mortgage could be treated in exactly the same way that RBC treated us at renewal time. However, every for-profit corporation is, by definition, bound to maximize corporate and shareholder profits. Many economists and politicians argue that this is the supreme legal and only moral obligation of a corporation. What's a bank? At its heart, a bank is a moneylender, and it lends money to make a profit. To not renew a mortgage that is and always has been in good standing is a negation of a stable, profitable arrangement. Given the requirement to make a profit, the actions RBC took to steal our property from us are illogical and illicit and could be challenged. Unless there was a more profitable reason for taking it. Nearly everyone who hears our story has the same immediate response. They had a buyer lined up. This holds water because, from an international perspective, our property is worth many, many times more than the mortgage. I detail those reasons in the link, Why Would Someone Want to Steal Our Property? In regard to RBC's actions being instrumental in causing the return of my wife's cancer, in law it is virtually impossible to prove that any given stress of any kind from any source is causal to anything. However, the shortcomings of the legal system do not in any way change what my common sense tells me. There is something else, though. In Canada, there is a well-recognized principle that we live in a fair and just society, and that every citizen has the right to expect and receive fair and just treatment from their government, institutions, and corporations. This principle has legal weight. That RBC violated the principle over and over again is beyond question in the minds of every legal professional who would speak to us. But those same professionals point out that proving that would take humongous amounts of money and time, there would be no guarantee of success, and at best there would be only a few $1,000s as settlement. This is how actions like those that RBC took against us go unpunished and mostly unreported. The sad truth is that though we may have the right to live in a fair and just society, we have no way of enforcing that right unless the media or our elected representatives take up the cause for us. RBC did lie about us. We are unequivocally not insolvent. Sadly, there is nothing illegal about lying. That is why everyone from tabloids to prime ministers can say almost anything they want with impunity. What you can't do with impunity is slander or libel a person. By every definition I can find, RBC did libel us, and that is illegal, but it could take years and thousands to prove it, and little to gain by doing so. Whether or not RBC committed fraud in the legal sense is moot. I assume you would have to provide a paper trail showing who and how this was done. Even if that was possible, like libel, there is little to gain by proving it. Insofar as a cover-up, I leave that to your judgment. The legal professionals we have spoken to are amazed that RBC and its minions were so sloppy and amateurish in their knee-jerk reactions when we exposed them. However, at the end of the day, from a legal perspective, RBC gets off scot-free.